right, folks, Robert Kennedy Jr. withdrew his name from some ballots in the country. On Fox News Sunday, he told anchor Shannon Bream, talked to him about his support for Donald Trump. And now former candidate said he will remove his name from ballots on states Harris needs to win to secure 270 electoral college votes in November, but he'll keep him on in swing states.
Negotiated over or talked about a cabinet position, another position within a Trump government in exchange for your endorsement?
No, there's been no commitments. But I met with President Trump, with his family, with his closer advisors, and we just made a general commitment that we were going to work together.
What about the states where you're trying to get off of a number of swing state ballots to say, I'm going to stay on a number of state ballots, but in these swing states, I'm going to try to withdraw myself and ask my supporters, or at least you're telling them, think about supporting President Trump. Did you negotiate over which states you would try to withdraw from?
Yeah, I mean, we all knew which states they were. There basically is 10 swing states where my presence in the race would have helped Vice President Harris and would have harmed President Trump. So I'm going to get off the ballot in those states, and then we're going to stay on the ballot in 30 states. And, I'm encouraging people to vote for me in those states. Those are states with the votes. They're either all red or all blue states where their votes are not going to change the outcome of the race. But in the states where I would have been a spoiler, I'm going to get out. So it's about 10 states.
He needs to gargle some salt water. Okay. Now, he appeared at a rally in Arizona with Trump on Friday. Oh, how Trump is great. Trump is wonderful. Really? Did you say this about Trump?
Unfortunately, Donald Trump was wrong. He knew not to shut down our businesses. He knew about lockdowns. He knew about ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and his own bureaucrats told him to shut up. And he unfortunately did what he was told. And that's, why he doesn't deserve another chance. And you may defend him on that, but
I don't defend him on the vaccine or any of it. It became a country that I didn't recognize, and no one was willing to stop it.
He doesn't deserve another chance to Glenn Beck. Well, I'm going to come back and play for something with Glenn Beck, too. RFK also said this.
And his pick as vice president is a salute to the CIA and to the intelligence community and to the military-industrial complex. Their gravy train is going to continue.
And this.
I'm going to say one more thing. They haven't done a very good job about protecting public health, but they've done a very good job at using the quarantine to bring 5G into all of our communities and to shift us all, to begin the process of shifting us all to a digital currency, which is the beginning of slavery. Because if they control your bank account, they control your behavior. And we all see these advertisements on television saying 5G is coming to your community. It's going to be a great thing for all of you. It's going to change your lives. It's going to make all of your lives so much better. And it's very convincing, I have to say. Because I look at those ads and I think that's great. I can hardly wait till it gets here. And then because I'm going to be able to download a video game in 6 seconds instead of 16 seconds. And is that why they're spending $5 trillion on 5G? No. The reason is for surveillance and data harvesting. It's not for you and me. It's for Bill Gates. It's for Jeffrey Zuckerberg. And it's for Bezos and all of the other billionaires.
What the hell was that fool saying? Now, Fox News now loves Robert Kennedy Jr. But there was a time when they didn't.
RFK RFK Jr. supports a national federal smart grid that would control how long we can keep the lights on in our homes, how long we can keep the water on. That is communism, not capitalism. President Trump opposes that, and I think the American people do.
Oh, who was that talking? Oh, that was Trump's press secretary. But now they love him. Oh, we're not done. Here's more of crazy, deranged Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
And his belief was that the HIV epidemic was not being, or the AIDS epidemic was not being caused by HIV. It was being caused by toxics, particularly toxics that gay men were exposing themselves to in this kind of party lifestyle. And particularly amyl nitrate or poppers were probably the most clear culprit in the epidemic of Kaposi sarcoma, which was the first signal of the AIDS issue. And I don't know whether you have he believes that HIV does not cause AIDS, that it's all caused by toxics. And I don't know if you adopt that kind of orthodoxy, but I'd love to hear your opinions on that. But also, I know that's consistent with a lot of things that you talk about, that the real problem is offensive insults in the environment that are empowering viruses to do damage to us that normally would be benign. If we had a healthy ecosystem inside and outside, polio wouldn't exist, and HIV wouldn't exist, and TB, and all of these other that have these kind of environmental connections.
But see, this is no shock when folks actually are speaking sanely and then they turn around to kiss Donald Trump's ass. Here's Trump's own vice president, J.D. Vance, talking about him before the Trump voodoo doll got to him.
I didn't vote for Trump. I'm never a Trump guy. I never liked him. It makes you think that at a fundamental level, this is sort of a he said, she said, right? And at the end of the day, do you believe Donald Trump, who always tells the truth? Just kidding. Or do you believe that woman on that tape?
I cannot stand Trump because I think he's a fraud. Well, I think he's a total fraud that is exploiting these people, who is a total fraud.
Like you said, I agree with you on Trump because I don't think that he's the person. I don't think he actually cares about folks.
So, as a conservative who thinks that Trump does not have the answers and isn't qualified to be president, what are you going to do this election, if you don't mind saying?
My current plan is to vote either third party, or as I joke to my wife, I might write in my dog, because that's about as good as it seems. But, I think there's a chance, if I feel like Trump has a really good chance of winning, that I might have to hold my nose and vote for Hillary Clinton. Ultimately, I think I'll probably vote third party. I might vote for this new guy who I really like, Evan McMullin, who I actually met the other day. But I think that I'm going to vote third party because I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place.
So do y'all see what happens when you sell your soul? Do you see what happens when you are willing to give up any morals, values, principles, and ethics? That's literally what we are looking at there, Julian, plain and simple. They have sold their soul to the devil and his imps, Donald Trump and his followers.
Neither J.D. Vance nor Donald Trump has any self-respect. Why would you ask somebody to be on your ticket who has talked about you like that, who's basically said you didn't trust you? How do you ask somebody to be on your ticket like that? But that's Trump has no self-respect.
Well, easy. When they express fealty to you, when they bow down and kiss your ring, kiss your feet, you're like, okay, little boy, great job. Come along.
There you have it. But I mean, at the same time, Roland, what we have to look at is that this guy, J.D. Vance, is not stupid. I mean, he's not, he's venal. He wants power. He's 39 years old. He's been tapped to be the VP to a man that he says he detests. Okay, to a man that he says he detests.
Yep.
But the price for being on that ticket is to lie out of all sides of his mouth, to say, oh, yeah, he's a great guy, he's a good guy. He can't explain that. They keep talking about Kamala can't explain policy inconsistencies. Can he explain why he is on this ticket?
Yeah, he can. He can. Power. It's about kissing ass. That's all it is. And again, the same thing applies, Joy, to all of these Republican commentators. I remember Hugh Hewitt, Mark Levin, Glenn Beck, all of them were speaking out against Trump. Oh, now they're just, oh my God, if we don't elect Trump, the world's going to go to pot. Here is that idiot Glenn Beck. This is what he actually had to say about Trump before he became president. Listen.
Donald Trump is the face of the GOP. Well, that makes us crony capitalists. It makes us wafflers. It makes us pretty racist. It makes us big government guys. It just, you name it. It makes us that. Well, I'm none of those things. And so I can't say, well, these are my friends, because that's my future. I won't tolerate it. I don't want my children to look at that man and say, yeah, he's my president. I won't have that. I will not endorse it. I will not tolerate it. And I refuse to have my children think that I tolerated that. I won't.
Really? Really? I find that to be really, really interesting and rich coming from Glenn Beck, because the same Glenn Beck said this year.
We're at a critical junction. This is where the train track splits forever. You know, if we lose this election, I truly believe we've lost the country. This isn't just the most important election of our life, which they always say. This could very well be the last free election in an America that we have understood for 250 years. If we lose this election, we may not make it as a constitutional republic by 2026. That's not hyperbole.
And he's not talking about supporting Vice President Kamala Harris. But, Joy, this goes to show you who they are. They will sell their soul, because if they go against him, they lose their ratings.
That is correct. This is about money. This is about power. This is about ratings. That's all. Because when they thought it wasn't advantageous to them, they told, really, if you listen to them, a more heartfelt truth, that they're disgusted by this man. Anyone with eyes would be disgusted by this man, with ears would be disgusted by this man, but they are afraid. They know what happens if you don't support Donald Trump. They have chosen to go with the cult.
Yep.
We know that has happened here. And so, the question isn't so much what they're saying is, if you're a moderate, which side are you on? You couldn't possibly, don't go pull a lever for Donald Trump. Don't go do that. That's what we've got. We've got to appeal to them. And that's what was great about this DNC convention. They spoke to that.
Derek, real quick.
I find it interesting because when you find individuals like Peggy Noonan. Yeah, Peggy Noonan. She goes, well, the Democrats stole family values and patriotism and all that. No, what you all did not hold Donald Trump accountable. And when you got folks like her, you got folks like, as you stated, Roland, Glenn Beck. I mean, heck, our governor right here in Georgia, Brian Kemp. I mean, Donald Trump about the man's wife. And now you got Brian Kemp cozying up with Trump.
Yep.
And so there was a time where flip-floppers, it was a death cross, but not today, because they're willing to kiss the ring and become obsequious to the degree.
Before I talk about the University of South Carolina having two racists attack the vice president, this is what the Kennedy family had to say about that idiot Robert Kennedy Jr. endorsing Trump. It says that statement of Robert Kennedy Jr.'s announcement today: "We want an America filled with hope and bound together by a shared vision of a brighter future, a future defined by individual freedom, economic promise, and national pride. We believe in Harris and Walls. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. It is a sad ending to a sad story. Signed by Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, former, of course, governor of Maryland, Courtney Kennedy, Kerry Kennedy, Chris Kennedy, and Rory Kennedy. And Kerry Kennedy and others have vowed to campaign for Vice President Kamala Harris, Governor Tim Walz. When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Check some money orders. Go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.